Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It is kind of a, drizzly Monday in Nashville, Tennessee. That's not all bad. We could use whatever rain we can get out of this. And welcome into Reaction Monday. Normally, Kelly Holcomb is with us. Not today, as a lot of you know from our show on Friday. Kelly's father passed away late Thursday night, so it will be a couple of days. We may get him tomorrow, but I know the funeral service for his father is on Wednesday, and certainly all of us involved in the show want to keep Kelly and his family in our thoughts and prayers. Parker Kelly is alongside. Parker, how are you?
George, I am phenomenal. Let me get myself on the screen here. I'm doing fantastic. It is a beautiful, not sunny day, but it is beautiful in many ways because it was a great weekend of college football, and the Tennessee Titans won a game.
Yep, and with that in mind, let's just go ahead and get to our daily Titans update with Terry McCormick, who I think is in Denver, although I can't swear to that. Terry is, of course, Main Street Media, TitanInsider.com, and not a very happy New York Yankee fan at the moment. Terry, how are you?
Well, doing good. Just sitting here in the Denver airport. Had a layover there and a late flight back. So my colleague Blaine Keller attended Brian Callahan's press conference, which just ended about a minute ago. So, and as far as the Yankees, yeah, I'm pretty down on them right now.
Yeah, but that's why a home game here soon, like tomorrow, could help them. Terry, you were there last night. Let's talk a little bit about the whole weird deal. I mean, I don't know that I have seen an ending as strange as that one.
No, and Brian Callahan said it today that you can't live on playing like that and counting on those types of results. But hey, a win is a win. It's like I said on my podcast, George. When you're starving, a Waffle House steak is still a steak.
Terry, thank you so much for that one. Didn't expect to hear that on Monday. First of all, what do you know injury-wise?
Sounds like they came out of the game pretty healthy. They didn't really have anybody get banged up in the game and have to leave or anything like that. Cardinals certainly got the worst of it on the injury front. Had a guy that had a broken ankle, one of those gruesome injuries that you don't want to see. But the Titans seemed to come out pretty unscathed from it yesterday in terms of health.
So, Terry, let's kind of speculate. It's a win that is crazy. It made no sense whatsoever. Does it lead to something better for this football team?
Well, I mean, I guess it all kind of depends on where they go from here, George, because, you know, there were a lot of things that went their way in the fourth quarter, and they, up until that point, they had not played particularly well, really at any point this season, except for flashes here or there. And then it all kind of came together over the last 12 minutes of that game. But, you know, this is a team that hasn't won a game or hasn't won back-to-back games in the last 46 games. We'll see if they can end that, you know, dubious streak Sunday when they go to Vegas, and they're actually getting a chance to play a team that's kind of down on their luck as well in the Las Vegas Raiders. So, you know, I guess what you have to do if you're the Titans is take the win, learn from it, and build and try to correct a lot of the things that went wrong, because for 3 quarters yesterday, they were dead and buried.
Yeah, there's a lot to sort out. Let me go to the Arizona side of this. First of all, they're a fun team to watch. They played in front of a bunch of empty seats yesterday. Upper Deck had a lot of empties. And Terry, if the truth be known, 3 weeks ago, they had this exact same kind of meltdown against the Carolina Panthers, but lived to tell about it. Fell apart in the fourth quarter, got an interception in the final 30 seconds that avoided one of these kind of catastrophes. And it feels like the people out there are really down on Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals they're a competitive team, but boy, they are their own worst enemy sometimes. I mean, for the life of me yesterday, and I get that they switched it, that the Titans switched and put L'Jarius Sneed on Marvin Harrison Jr., but for the life of me, I could not figure out why they quit throwing him the football in the second half, because he was cooking the Titans pretty good in the first half of the game. And I think, the Cardinals are one of those teams that they just haven't figured out how to win. Some of it was I thought they got a little too conservative in the second half and, were content to kind of play it conservative, run ball, run the clock out with a 15-point lead, which you would think would be safe. And then when they got the chance to add the killer touchdown, DeMercado, of course, coughs the ball up on the goal line, committing, a terrible mistake, and that opened the door for the Titans to start to come back.
Now, we're going to have some discussion of that here after we get off with you. Anything else you want to share with us?
Well, George, I'm going to say this, and it's just something that you feel free to weigh in on too. But up until he gathered himself in the fourth quarter and really put on a show, I think a lot of people were starting to wonder about Cam Ward, if he was figuring things out or if he was stagnant or if he was regressing, because hadn't really seen a whole lot. But all of a sudden he gets into the 2-minute drill and, puts on a Superman cape and he looked great. And, he kind of showed you why they took him number one overall. The key to me for this team going forward is how much of that can you unlock on a more consistent basis rather than just seeing it once in a blue moon like what you got with Levis.
Yeah, and only time will tell, because you're right. In the first 3 quarters, offensively, they weren't very good at all. And, only the fourth quarter, albeit very important because it got them a win, got them jump-started. Terry, safe travels from Denver. We'll talk again tomorrow, and who knows what you'll have for us.
Exactly. Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
That's Terry McCormick, TitanInsider.com, Main Street Media, stuck in the Denver airport.
Not a fun place to be. I've been there once before. It's been a while, though. Maybe it's gotten better.
Who knows?
I don't know. Time for our update, sponsored by our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Join us at Sports and Social out in Green Hills Mall next Thursday night, or this upcoming Thursday night, I should say, as the Philadelphia Eagles travel to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. I got to start with one of the more crazier stories out of the weekend, but ex-NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez is now being faced with a felony charge for an altercation with a 69-year-old truck driver early Saturday in Indianapolis. Mark Sanchez was stabbed a couple of times and is receiving medical attention, but he's also being charged with a felony.
I think he's in a lot of trouble. There is jail time potentially. Who knows how it plays out, because legal stuff has a way of, changing hour by hour, but it's not a good look at all. And Fox had to be mortified when they found out that their color announcer for the Vegas Indy game had been stabbed. Brady Quinn ended up being the fill-in.
Yeah, when I first saw this story, I just thought he had just gotten stabbed randomly in the streets of Indianapolis, but it turns out there's a lot more to that story than meets the eye. Now, here's something else that is interesting. This came out today. This was reported by Clay Travis. This was reported by On3, that Paul Feinbaum has been removed from ESPN shows such as First Take, Get Up. I believe he still has his show on SEC Network, but but he has been removed due to his comments with Clay Travis that he was going to be potentially running for senator.
Interesting. And some people, some people at ESPN are disputing that. I have no idea what the truth is. Deep down, I don't really care.
And some MLB postseason action that happened over the weekend. The New York Yankees, poor Terry McCormick. They fall behind 2-0 after they lost yesterday to the Blue Jays 13-7.
They got pasted. Vladimir hit a ball from here to Montreal, a grand slam. The Yankees were down at one point. It was either 12-0 or 13-0. It's not like they're dead and buried, but they are down 2-0 in a best 3 out of 5. So it doesn't look real good.
And the Detroit Tigers, after winning the first game versus the Mariners, they fall yesterday to Seattle 3-2. This game is going to go to a game 3 that'll be played on Tuesday, tomorrow.
Tense, very tense last night in Seattle. It was Tarek Skubal for the Tigers, who will probably win the Cy Young Award, and Luis Castillo as the starters. And boy, it was tense from the minute it started.
And we have 2 games tonight as the LA Dodgers will take on the Phillies. That game is set for 5:08. LA has a 1-0 lead. The Chicago Cubs, or my Chicago Cubs, I should say, take on the Milwaukee Brewers. They are down 1-0. That game is at 8:08 p.m.
Phillies have to win tonight, pure and simple. You cannot lose 2 at home and expect to beat the Dodgers 3 in a row. They got to win tonight, period.
Absolutely. Some more injury news in the NFL as the New England Patriots lost one of their running backs in Antonio Gibson due to a torn ACL. I believe this was in the second half, if I remember correctly. But it just seems like these types of injuries have been ramped up, especially this year.
Yeah, and look, I don't pretend to know what the reason is, but that's not, you hate seeing that.
It was a tough scene as he was, exiting the field, limping off, having some help, and the tears were flowing down his face. It was just a really tough scene last night.
By the way, if you think a coach never has any impact on a team, then how did the Patriots get this much better this quick? The answer is Mike Vrabel.
A lot of Titans fans are not too happy about letting him go. I heard they were talking about how idiotic it was for Tennessee to let him go, but we won't get into that. The Las Vegas Raiders have released linebacker Jermaine Pratt after 4 games after they signed him from the Cincinnati Bengals. It seems like the Raiders defense has kind of been a reclamation project with some of these guys, Jermaine Pratt, Jamal Adams. There's one other player that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but
they got boat raced yesterday. Indy put up, I think it was 40.
Yep.
And the Raiders really were not very competitive. I thought they'd be a lot better than this. I thought the Pete Carroll hire was going to re-energize that franchise. And sadly, so far, it has not done it.
And Geno Smith is leading the league in interceptions once again, so that's not exactly a recipe for success either. And they'll have the Tennessee Titans this upcoming Sunday.
Yep.
That is it for the update.
Okay, got 2 notes real quickly. SEC announces today, this is for a week from Saturday, what I'm going to give you. The Vandy LSU game here in Nashville will either be at 11 or 11:45 in the morning. That is yet to be determined. The Tennessee-Alabama game from Tuscaloosa, that's a week from Saturday, will be 6:30 on ABC.
Prime time, baby, the way that it should be. 3rd Saturday in October.
Yep, and 2 pretty good football teams going at it. Okay, after the break, we'll talk about the Titans win. It is about as improbable as it could humanly get. It was crazy. It's probably not what anybody had penciled into how this game goes. But you know what? A win is a win. And the Titans right now will gladly take it. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling. They enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
We're back. A few 100,000 thoughts on what went on yesterday out in the desert. Let me start with the thing that really just sends me into orbit. If I were the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and clearly I'm not, the running back, DeMercado, would have been cut today. First of all, his explanation afterwards that I've got to be smarter. Well, yeah. I mean, what possible thought process going into that play makes you think it's okay to drop the ball between the 1 yard line and the goal line? If I am one of those offensive players, one of the other 10 who's working my butt off to see to it that he got wide open and off to the races, and he pulled that stunt, there is not a more selfish act in football. And if I'm the head coach, his butt is gone. Now, I don't doubt that if Arizona did that today, that the Players Association would file a grievance, at which point I say, file it. We're not changing our minds. I don't know where this little fad started where these running backs think it's cute to drop the ball on the half-yard line. It is the dictionary definition of stupid.
Do you remember the Oregon-Utah game from about 10 years ago. It was when Mariota was still there, but they had a kick return, or it might have been a pick six, and the guy, the Utah defender, dropped the ball on the goal line, and that is the first time I remember seeing this happen. And it is mind-boggling that this stuff is still happening since. Do you remember that game, George?
I don't, but I know there have been, I want to say 4 or 5 of these over the years. And this one looks even worse because it clearly starts the whole thing. It starts the whole collapse. And good for the Titans that they were able to take advantage of it. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'll be real interested to see. And first of all, I would hope that one of the offensive linemen in the locker room got after him and just said, "Who the hell do you think you are? We're out there as teammates busting our butt for you, and that's the best you can do is decide to be cute and drop it at the half-yard line." If it sounds like it pisses me off, it does. It's so stupid. What can a halfway intelligent person be thinking when they pull that?
And to make it worse, it's not really much of a different conversation. Let's say if it was Saquon Barkley, but we're talking about the third string running back for the Arizona Cardinals that pulled this. I hope it was the whole team, because think about the different conversation we'd be having if he didn't drop the ball. The Titans don't win this game.
No, it's over at that point because it's 28-6. So let's go to our little chart that we use each week about the good and the bad. First of all, let's give the Titans the credit that for the stupidity of DeMercado, I didn't say his name right there.
Close enough.
Help me.
He doesn't. It's
DeMercado?
DeMercado.
Okay, well, whatever. Let's give the Titans the credit that when the door got open, when there was a crack in the door, that they knocked the damn thing down, seized the moment, as they say in Dead Poets Society, carpe diem, seized the day. Well, you know what? To their credit, they did.
That's a great reference.
So it's a great movie. So that's positive number one. Positive number two is there was a Calvin Ridley sighting, and it was a big one. 5 catches for about, 140, 145 yards. And here would be the point. They are paying him huge money, and it's not to show up once every 5 games. This has got to be the start of a big-time revival by Ridley, because they're paying him too much money for the stats he had put up for the first month. Good that he did, but this begs the question, why don't you do this more often?
100%. And it's so refreshing to see if you're a Titans fan. I mean, I was out there at practice and I saw Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley connecting in training camp, which is something that Will Levis and Calvin Ridley didn't do this time last year. And they were doing it in practice. So for it to not show up in the games is just so confusing. But it was kind of a breath of fresh air, especially on that 2-minute drive at the end of the game when Cam Ward had the perfect over-the-shoulder throw. Five receptions for 131 yards for Ridley yesterday. It was beautiful to see if you're a Titans fan.
I put down as the third positive Jeffrey Simmons. I think he's playing some of his best football. And as Adam Archuleta on the television broadcast brought up, he plays virtually every play, which not many defensive linemen in the National Football League do. Yeah, he's had his moments where the fan base has gotten down on him, but he plays hard, and he plays hard every game, and that should be applauded.
Yeah, I think the other person he mentioned was Max Crosby, and there was a point in time yesterday during the first half where I actually felt bad for Jeffrey Simmons. He lost 20 pounds over the offseason, really worked on changing his body so that he could be out there for all the snaps like he's played so far, and he's been looking great. He's been looking like an elite level defensive tackle, and for some reason the people around him just couldn't get it right until the Titans flipped the script. And then that kind of went away. But there was a point in time yesterday, I'm like, man, like if you're Jeffrey Simmons, you just got to be thinking to yourself, what am I doing here?
Now, under the negatives, I only listed one because I'd like to at least halfway enjoy the fact that there was a win. Twice in the third quarter, they get into positions like 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8. And they throw, in one case, a 4-yard pass that turns up 2 yards short of the first down. And on what I think was a 3rd and 8, they throw a 6-yard pass, which turns out 2 yards short. What's the point? Get the damn thing down the field and get the first down. And if the pattern has to be run deeper, then run it deeper. It does you no good to come up 2 yards short.
And part of that is winning on 1st and 2nd down so that you're not put in these 3rd and long situations repeatedly. I wish Kelly was here because I know he'd back me up on this. But if you're putting yourself behind the sticks for 2nd down and you don't convert and you have 3rd and long, there really is no point, because there have been several times where there have been 3rd and 10 plus for the Titans, and there aren't many good play calls for that. So winning on 1st and 2nd down will be critical for the Titans, and they have to do that going forward.
So the big question that comes out of this, because clearly it's a miracle kind of win. I don't think anybody would dispute that. It's some of the weirdest stuff that we've seen in a while that ended up resulting in a 22-21 win. So the question is, okay, where does it go from now, from here? Well, one thing it does do, it kind of quiets the negativity that's been out there from all of us. If nothing else, it probably buys Brian Callahan a week of peace and quiet without as much talk about his job status. Does this begin an upward surge? I don't know. My suspicion is no. It's still the worst roster in the NFL. It's still the worst receiving core in the NFL. But at least there is a win behind it so that they're not staring at the big donut. It's not a 0. The question is, does it give them some confidence that they're going to do better things? I don't know. Only time will tell. My gut feeling is not to the extent that we all want, but maybe it helps.
George, I've been torn on this all day because the Titans don't get very many wins nowadays, so it's important to celebrate them when they happen. But the truth of the matter is the Arizona Cardinals handed them the win. And I will give credit to the Titans because at least they capitalized on that, because the Broncos tried to hand them the game and they didn't. They didn't capitalize. They kept swinging in this game. They kept chopping at the wood, and eventually they won the game. But through 3 quarters yesterday, it was ugly, ugly football, and things really didn't start clicking for the Titans until late. My question is, why can't we see that more often? I think this win yesterday for the Titans opens up a timeline. We're either going to see the Titans, okay, we have a little bit of momentum, let's build off of it. Or are they going to revert back to their old ways? Time will tell.
Well, okay, but let me ask this question. You know, when we say, okay, why don't they do this more often? The true answer is because they don't have the talent on that roster to do it. Yes? No?
You're not going to hear any arguments from me.
So, you know, what is this roster capable of? I don't know. I will say this. I was impressed when Arizona decided to play romper room, that the Titans absolutely seized it. First of all, help me with this. On Arizona's final possession, they get to 3rd and 6. How do you run the football there? I know that, and I heard Archuleta say, well, you know they're going to run. You got to make a first down, because the Titans are the team with all the momentum, and you give it back to them. What ended up happening, it was predictable. And let me say this, I have no idea what's going on in Arizona. 3 weeks ago, I watched them almost gag to the Carolina Panthers in the same way. Great first half, sleptwalk through most of the third quarter, and then Carolina caught fire. And only an interception in the final minute in regulation is the reason Arizona won that game. Yesterday was a carbon copy.
Yeah, my only answer would be that they didn't trust that the Tennessee Titans were going to do anything. But like you said, they had the momentum. I think Arizona went away from what they did well in the first half. I mean, they were targeting Marvin Harrison all day. It was a mismatch because Jalen Armour-Davis was on him and not L'Jarius Sneed. It was a mismatch. But they went away from that for I don't know why. So, yeah, but the Titans did capitalize on it. But when this roster is this bad, you have to do the easy things really well, and they just haven't done that.
The Cardinals' two best weapons right now are Marvin Harrison and a really underrated great tight end in Trey McBride. He's a stud, and not a lot of the country has seen him because the Cardinals don't get a ton of primetime television, but he's really good. Titans did a pretty good job on McBride. And I'll tell you the other thing. L'Jarius Sneed staying healthy is vital to them because he's the closest thing they've got to a shutdown corner. Agree?
Agree. Yeah, and even if, old L'Jarius Sneed was without a doubt a top 3 to 5 corner in the NFL. But I'm not expecting that L'Jarius Sneed. I'm not expecting to see him ever again. If he can just play like a top 20 corner, I think that boosts this Titans secondary so much. And the effort that he gave on that play yesterday, he didn't knock the ball out, but the effort was there, and I really appreciated that.
Lost in the shuffle, the happiest man in the Titans locker room, besides Brian Callahan, should have been Joey Sly. Joey Sly's missed extra point almost cost them dearly. And the fact of the matter is, I don't understand why they get rid of Nick Folk to begin with. I've heard all this stuff about Folk and limited range. Anybody see him drill a 58-yard field goal a week ago?
I saw it. He still got it. Wait, 41 years old? Is that right?
He's plenty good enough.
Yeah.
And, Joey Sly started out great. And let's face it, there's pressure on a Titan kicker because they get so few opportunities that you better take advantage when you get one. And when you miss, or in this case, an extra point, it can't happen. They don't have that luxury.
Nope. The margins are already razor thin, so you got to do the simple things very well. But you've talked about this, George. You talked about this last week about Major League Baseball players. They have to have that short-term memory because they go from playing a game one night and then the next day they're right back at it. Imagine if you're Joey Sly and you've missed kicks galore the last few weeks. You miss an extra point early on in the game, and then you have to go out there and kick the game-winning field goal. Imagine the mental fortitude that you have to be able to do that.
The missed extra point made it a 9-point game, meaning they were going to have to score twice. Now, Arizona just, handed it to them. But again, celebrate a win, celebrate the fact that when Arizona decided to just go haywire, that the Titans swooped in and seized the moment. Because for the first 3 quarters offensively, they didn't get a thing done. Brian Callahan's decision to stop calling plays has made his decision-making better, but they have gotten Gerber's baby food kind of conservative on offense. Until the final drive, they don't push the ball downfield at all.
It's like they're conservative at the wrong times, and then they're overly aggressive at the wrong times when they need to be flip-flopped. And that's been the problem. And when Brian Callahan gave up play calling, the result in Houston was really, really bad. I'm willing to give Bo Hardigree a little bit more leeway considering it was his first time, but my gosh, it's just like there's a certain type of feel that you have to have as a football coach. And a lot of these coaches, it feels like they hide behind this analytical wall. The analytics say to do that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But you got to have a feel as a football coach.
An offensive coordinator's got to have a feel.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a quarterback.
Yeah.
You tell me, because I can't quite put my finger on it. What is the feel?
It's just about knowing situationally where you are in a football game. What down and distance is it? If it's 2nd and 1 and I'm on my own 20-yard line, I'm not – yeah, you may try to take a shot, but I'm not trying to put the ball in harm's way considering where I am on the field. It's all about feel. And I had this conversation about Dan Campbell with the Lions, how often they go for it on 4th down. And when they lost that playoff game to potentially go to the Super Bowl versus the 49ers, that has been his motto, is go for it on 4th down no matter what. But there are sometimes you just have to not do that in order to do what's best for your football team. And that's the field that I'm talking about.
I'll say this, though. Man, I love how he coaches.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, this isn't me bashing Dan Campbell. I love it. But they're just, as a coach, you just have to have that feel, knowing where you are situationally in the game. What's the down and distance? How can I not hurt my football team in this spot?
Couple of other pro football thoughts before we go to the break and get into some college. What is going on in Baltimore? When I think of the Ravens, I think of a rock-solid defense that plays hard and knocks the crap out of you. And after you get finished playing with them, you know it. What is going on? I mean, I get that they've got a bunch of injuries, but there are other teams out there. I saw San Fran Thursday night gut out a win in Los Angeles against the Rams. If anybody saw any of the Texans game yesterday, Baltimore caved like a cheap suit. I don't know what's going on there, but man, what Harbaugh, who I think is a pretty good football coach, has got to be going to the drawing board going, what do I do?
And we talked about these injuries on Friday, and yeah, that plays a part in it. I could go super nerdy football talk. I'm going to try not to, but the Ravens, they run the ball the least. 32nd, they rank 32nd in the NFL on running the ball with Derrick Henry on 1st and 2nd down. So that just shows you the play calling is very predictable, for one thing, which is not good. And two, this is the most undisciplined I've ever seen a John Harbaugh coach team. Do they even tackle in practice? When I'm watching them, that's the question I'm asking myself. What in the world?
It's pretty shocking. And then the other one, kudos to New England. I didn't think New England had a chance going into that game against Buffalo. Number one, I think they had a great game plan. Secondly, I think there is now a belief in their locker room, which showed up before that game was ever played, and that's got to be Vrabel. Look, Vrabel had certain issues here, and by the time he left, the thing had fallen apart. But Vrabel can be a really good football coach, and I think the beneficiary of it is about to be the New England Patriots, because when they got off that field last night, their confidence level had to have soared. They were really good. Drake May's a stud, by the way.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the truth. He played like a miniature Josh Allen last night. But when I think of Mike Vrabel, I kind of put him in the same category as Dan Campbell in terms of being a player's coach. Ramondre Stevenson has really struggled fumbling the football. That dates all the way back to last year. But he has had a fumbling issue. And he fumbled in a game last week, but yet Mike Vrabel, pulled him aside and actually started him yesterday. So that kind of shows you the confidence that if you're one of his guys, you're one of his guys. He's going to ride with you until the wheels fall off. The ultimate player's coach, those guys love playing for him.
It's going to come up a week from now when New England comes to town. Vrabel bitched openly about a couple of things that, in hindsight, he was dead right about. Okay? Not knowing that A.J. Brown was going to be traded until it happened, That wasn't real good, and that was one dumb, stupid move by a team that desperately needed him. And the second thing is that he told Amy Adams Strunk, Ran Carthon is not ready to be an NFL general manager. And you know what? He was dead on right about that. And part of what I think they let him go for was they were tired of hearing it. Well, unfortunately, a lot of what he complained about, he was right about.
The A.J. Brown wasn't it played a role in it, but it wasn't oh my gosh, A.J. Brown's gone, the Titans go downhill. But notice how everything started going downhill after that. And that just shows you Vrabel, he was right. And from that point on, it has been a power control contest and a blame game, musical chairs. The truth is, there's plenty of blame to go around. It is not just one person.
After the break, we will release our top 12 in college football. The first 8 are really predictable. Okay. When you get to numbers 10, 11, 12, there can be some argument, and it's really hard right now. The first 8, anybody could do in some particular order. We'll do it in ours next on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Preds hockey is back. Join us for opening night on Thursday, October 9th as your Nashville Predators host the Columbus Blue Jackets. Meet the players at the Gold Walk, enjoy a pre-game plaza party, and help us welcome back hockey in Smashville. Plus, all fans in attendance will receive a special edition Nashville Predators Season Tour t-shirt. Secure your tickets today at NashvillePredators.com. That's NashvillePredators.com. We can't wait to see you back in Smashville. Let's go, Preds!
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a racing sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. Here's Officer Darren Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, we are back on kind of a rainy, dreary-looking Monday, but you know what? We probably need a little bit of it. Here's a stat that I found that kind of surprised me a little bit. And unless you've really thought about it, might surprise you too. So by the end of Saturday night, 5 blue bloods of college football, 5 of them already had 2 losses. They are Notre Dame, Clemson, Penn State, Texas, Florida State. Wow. How about that?
That's shocking.
It is.
That is. And considering Texas, Penn State, and Clemson were 1, 2, and 4 respectively in the preseason AP poll, and looking at where they are now, unranked.
So let me toss that list out there one more time for you to think about. Notre Dame, Clemson, Penn State, Texas, Florida State. Wow. So here is my list of top 12. Don't shoot the messenger, but feel free to disagree because what the heck? That's part of the fun. I think until Ohio State loses, you got to keep them there. Are they going to lose? I don't know. They've got a test Saturday that might be somewhat interesting at Illinois. Miami, I've put them at number 2. You can argue that their win at Florida State, doesn't mean as much, that Florida State today may not be what we thought they were 3 weeks ago. Oregon going to Penn State and winning in the whiteout. They're at 3. Until Ole Miss loses, you got to put them at 4. I mean, whether you like the guy or not, Lane Kiffin's a really good football coach.
Speaking of Lane Kiffin, have you happened to watch his documentary on ESPN Plus yet?
I haven't. Tell me about it.
It is fantastic. Without spoiling too much, because you just got to watch it to see it. I was not a Lane Kiffin fan, because I'm a Tennessee fan, but after watching that, full support of Lane Kiffin.
Okay, what is it that turned you?
Just seeing how I don't want to spoil anything. His perspective as a father, as a football coach, changed so much, and how he handled the media, handled his work-life balance. It's really, really good. You need to watch it.
Okay. I know that he's talked about family and being in Oxford, which has surprised me a little bit. Good for him.
Yeah, it's great.
So A&M, I put at number 5. You could argue flip-flopping it with Oklahoma. Either way, it's 5 and 6. Indiana, I have them at number 7. They, of course, own a 63-10 win at home against an Illinois team that a week later beat USC.
I wonder who called that one.
Yeah, I have the answer to that. I put Texas Tech number 8 ahead of Alabama. No, I don't think Texas Tech has played an overly difficult schedule, but when they went to Utah, they were rock solid in that game. Defensively, they didn't give Utah anything. Texas Tech's pretty good. Are they this good? I don't know. But for now, given that they're undefeated, I put them ahead of the 4 SEC teams that I've got 9 through 12. And they are at the moment Alabama, Georgia, LSU, and Tennessee. Could you argue other teams? Sure. Missouri is one you could make a really good argument about. Georgia Tech is one you could make an argument about right now, undefeated. Some things will start to, kind of play out. For instance, Oregon and Indiana play this week. Oklahoma and Texas play this week. Alabama and Tennessee will play a week from now. My gut feeling right now, if I'm being honest, I kind of wonder if Miami isn't better than Ohio State.
You want my opinion on it?
Sure.
I think Miami is better than Ohio State. Not by much, but I think their resume, and when I do rankings, I look strictly at what's your resume been through week 6. And Miami, they don't have a lot of holes. They had a ton of holes on defense last year, but they have successfully filled those. And when I watch Miami play, now they did let their foot off the gas against Florida State, which I was unhappy about, or I would be if I was Mario Cristobal. But man, when they go out there and play and the wins that they have so far, it's hard for me not to put Miami at 1.
So, as most of you know, a group of 5 team will end up being in there, right?
Being in the top 25? Or
No,
being
in the playoff.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Boise State was a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this just in. It's not going to be Boise State. Right now, the leader in the clubhouse looks like the University of Memphis Tigers. Now, have they played the kind of schedule you'd like to see? No, not necessarily. They were extremely fortunate to beat Arkansas. Where I'm going with this is this. If you get into trying to figure out group of 5, there's a game Friday night that you want to pay attention to. Undefeated North Texas down in Denton, Texas. I may be the only person that's ever done a game there. My buddy Chip Walters is laughing if he's hearing this going, I'm down there every other year.
Yeah.
Anyway, North Texas is undefeated. Earlier this year, they beat the ever-living snot out of Washington State. Well, Friday night, here comes South Florida, the team that group of 5 has gotten the most attention because they beat Boise State in the season opener. Then they went to Florida and beat the Gators. So pay attention to that matchup Friday night, because if North Texas is no longer part of the undefeated, it's probably Tulane and Memphis that ultimately will be in the running, and they'll play each other later in the year. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's in Memphis or at Tulane.
No love for North Texas in there? You don't think North Texas will? They're undefeated right now.
Yeah, I'm saying if they go down Friday night.
Oh, okay.
Toss them aside for now.
Their conference in general is very interesting because you got North Texas in there, you got Memphis, you have Navy. Now, I don't think Navy is, going to be a legit playoff contender, but their record is good, and
they don't play a lick of defense.
They don't play a lick of defense.
And Army is nowhere near what they have been.
No, they're not. But Navy, would you believe it? They developed a passing game.
Well, they probably have had no choice. Both them and Army have gone more to the forward pass. What a novel concept.
Yep. I'm blanking on, oh my gosh. I'm blanking on his name, but he's been great for Navy. Their quarterback. Help me out, George.
He's gone.
Blake Horvath. That's who it was.
No, he's not gone, is he?
No, he's there.
Yeah.
Yep. He has completed, or he's thrown for over 800 yards this year, which is a novel concept for Navy.
Oh my God, it's like an epiphany.
I know. A forward pass.
So, of this group, think this one through with me. Let's see. What haven't you done, George?
Should I show that? I guess that comment is referring to you saying you did a game in Denton, Texas.
I've also been to a rodeo in Denton, Texas.
How was that?
Well, I don't know. I was a little kid. Didn't really get into it. Of these teams, I think Ohio State clearly ends up in the playoff. Miami, Oregon. Still not sure about Ole Miss, just because there's a lot of conference play. Same thing with A&M and Oklahoma. Indiana more and more feel like they belong. Texas Tech, deep down, I don't think gets in. Of the last 4, I think the lowest odds of the last 4, LSU.
I would have to agree with that 100%. They cannot run the football to save their life right now. They're having to rely on their defense, which is the complete opposite conversation we were having about them last year. And it's all on Garrett Nussmeier's shoulders. And when it's all on his shoulders, their offense has not looked good. So I would have to agree 100% about that LSU take.
We got a lot to talk about in the college football world. Stuff in the aftermath of Alabama's win over Vandy. James Franklin's future at Penn State. Because for the first time, I now believe he will beat the posse out of Happy Valley and end up going somewhere at the end of the season. Have no proof of it, but Franklin's not stupid, and he knows right now that the people up there are not happy with him. Those are some of the topics, and Billy Napier has 9 lives. All of this and more when we start the 4 o'clock hour. We will open up the phone lines at 4:20. I'm going to want to hear all of your stuff on a Reaction Monday on the George Plaster Show.
Guys, it's Derry, co-host of the podcast Single Tree Nation. Are you ready to help us build community? We have some amazing stories of incredible entrepreneurs and business leaders in the area. Join us every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. on ESPN 94.9 The Fan. Can't make it Saturdays? No problem. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode.
If you've got a yard, you may plan on digging it. Like to build an addition, put in a pool, or bury your pirate booty. But you should know that throughout the country, there may be pipelines buried underground. And if you hit one, you've got trouble. Sorry. So before you dig, call 811 to have any buried pipelines located and marked at no charge. For more tips on pipeline safety, visit pipesafety.org. A message from the Tennessee Gas Association, Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Hey folks, Joe Rexrode here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Seal Master. You know, as homeowners, we must take care of our driveway. You know, it's like if you're a business owner, the parking lot is the welcome mat of the property. Keep it protected and looking new with Seal Master products made locally by the largest coating brand in the world. With winter on its way, it's imperative that it be coated before the damage is done. Call Seal Master today for a qualified contractor. Do it for the first time and have it sealed with the help of the experts at Seal Master, and they do pickleball and other recreational uses as well. Call 615-255-5505 or visit sealmaster.net.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Brett Luna. Better rain chances finally start to move in today. Off and on showers will stick around throughout the day. By Tuesday, we're looking at an even better chance for showers and thunderstorms. Highs will be in the lower 80s today and Tuesday, and then we're in the mid and upper 70s through the rest of the week.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. While we all enjoy the beautiful fall weather, we also know this is the time for home improvement projects before the cold winds of winter blow in. If replacing those old drafty windows is on your list, I suggest you reach out to the best in the business, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You can't beat the combination of the highest quality doors and windows in the business with expert craftsmanship from the Pella Windows installation team. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Visit PellaNashville.com for more information.
Kick off your week the Massaro way, where every snap comes with a side of queso, every matchup is met with a bold margarita, and every fan becomes familia. With big screens, bold flavor, and unbeatable vibes, this is how Massaro does football. From every drive to every down, Massaro is where football hits different. This isn't just game night, it's Massaro Football Mondays on 12th South. Mondays were made for Massaro.
This is the energy of the Acura Integra. The energy of speed. With available Type S 320 horsepower VTEC turbo engine. And the energy of control. With available 6-speed manual transmission. The Acura Integra. This is the energy of innovation. Acura. Precision crafted performance.
Experience the thrill at Gary Force Acura, proud sponsor of the Nashville Predators. GaryForceAcura.com.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429, has a path to a dignified career. Are you a skilled electrician or lineman? Tired of dead-end, low-paying jobs? Local 429 is accepting applications for highly skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Workers Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to ibew429.org. IBEW Local 429, the best training and training the best.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Now time for our stat of the day, brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. Everyone knows about Geno Smith's multi-interception games as he leads the league in interceptions once again. Who is second in the NFL?
Gosh, I don't pretend to know. I'm going to take a wild guess here. My first thought is Baker Mayfield because he throws a bunch of them. But let me do a little thinking about this real quick. I was going to say for a minute Lamar Jackson, but I don't think that's right. I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield. What the heck?
Baker Mayfield's a good guess because he is a gunslinger, but that is not the answer. This answer might surprise you. You ready for it?
Yeah. Jake Browning. Wow. Now think about that. That's with 2 less games played.
Yeah.
Because
2 less
Joe
games
Burrow started.
Yep.
By the way, Jake Browning, I predict will not be a Bengal next year.
Might be fair to say.
This go-round has not gone well at all. They really have not been very competitive since he's taken over. Anyway, we welcome all of you officially into the 4 o'clock hour. From our digs at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue, we've got some college football to get into. And then at 4:20, I'm going to open up the phones for a little bit of Reaction Monday, and I am dying to hear from some of you. Okay. Ready for a few thoughts on Vandy, Alabama?
Let's do it.
All in all, I don't say that Vandy played horribly at all. Down 9. Honestly, it felt like a 9-point game. And gosh, over the years, when I was in school, Alabama beat Vandy 66-3. I've done a couple of pastings where it wasn't real pretty. And so, I'm not overly down about what I saw. There are 2 things, one of which is probably a stupid one on my end, the other one of which most of you will agree with. I think if Vandy could do it over, whatever defense they were in the final minute of the first half, which felt like a prevent, which prevented absolutely nothing, I think they'd rethink how they did it. It was way too easy. And Bama seizing the momentum to go in at halftime with a 14-14 tie, that just did not have a good feel to it.
No, it didn't. And I hate this because the score looks a lot worse than the game actually was. Like, Vanderbilt had a puncher's chance in the second half, but that last touchdown by Alabama makes the score what it is. But I agree with you about that defense. That defense was very porous towards the end of the second half.
My second biggest disappointment, Diego Pavia doesn't need to be hanging around Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel had a great college career, and since then, what in the world has he accomplished as a human being other than getting up there when he got drafted and giving the commissioner the money sign?
Well, he has a podcast.
He doesn't need to be hanging around Johnny Manziel. Hang around better people than that.
No Theo Vaughn either?
I don't know. I've got no problem there. Manziel, a little bit different story. What does this mean for Vandy? Well, who knows? Maybe it's a good loss. Not that a loss is ever a good loss. Does this refocus them after the bye week? It might. Can they beat LSU? They might. There are a bunch of teams on their schedule from here on in that feel like they might. Missouri, I think, is better than anybody thought they were. Texas, I think, is way worse. I don't know what the hell's going on at Texas, but that is one disinterested-looking football team with a quarterback who is anything but a Heisman candidate. And until they get that fixed, they're not any good.
They can't run the football. They kind of have the same.
You like this? Yeah, thank you. Oh, wow. Nice. Only those of you who are watching this by way of podcast could fully appreciate.
Yeah, that's right. They can't run the football. They have the same problem as LSU. Their offensive line at this point in time is not good. They had a preseason first team all SEC running back in Trey Wisner. They haven't been able to get him going. Arch, he had some good plays, but he also turned the football over and was sacked 6 times. So
yeah.
If only somebody would have called this on Thursday. You best believe, George, I'm taking a victory lap when we get to underdog picks on Thursday, by the way.
Did you take Florida for Kelly? Oh, good Lord. We'll never hear the end of that.
No, you will not.
So, again, I don't know what's going on there, but that looks like they just look like a bad football team right now. Florida beat the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just beat them to a pulp. So there's some Florida fans out there right now who don't know quite what to root for. Happy deep down that they got to win, but also sitting there going, dadgum, does this give Billy Napier a 9th live? I don't know. Maybe it does. I doubt it, but it's at least a start.
Right. It just seems like whenever Florida has their backs against the wall, they've lost 3 straight. They're in wounded animal mode. Billy Napier turns into his mentor, Nick Saban, and they go on a tear. For whatever reason, they started to hand the football off to their superstar running back, Jaden Ball, and it worked. He was great. They got a receiver back in Dallas Wilson, who, by the way, is a true freshman, and hit 2 explosive plays for touchdowns. That's what the Gators saw from him in the spring game. And sure enough, when you had another playmaker in there, you take a little pressure off of DJ Lagway. It's amazing what can happen.
They were pretty good Saturday. So while that was going on, some of us were doing a lot of channel hopping back and forth because CBS had a game they never dreamed they would get. Penn State was a 25-point favorite going out to UCLA and clearly had a big old hangover from the fact that they couldn't beat Oregon a week ago in the whiteout game. So what happened? Flat as a pancake, UCLA stuffed it down their throat. And I'll tell you this, Nico was pretty good. Nico can run the football and run it way better than we probably ever saw at Tennessee. He had some long runs in that game that kept stuff alive. Here's the thing at Penn State. Up till now, Franklin, we all know that the record against like top 5 and top 10 is awful. We've all known it. We hear it every time they play Michigan or Ohio State and now Oregon. But what James Franklin has always been able to do is see to it that the UCLAs of the world never beat him. I'm telling you, there's a posse out there in Upper Pennsylvania that wants him gone. He feels it. He's not stupid. He hears it. And it would not shock me, Parker, if James Franklin bolts at the end of the year.
Are you calling it, George?
Well, I'm close to calling it. Let me put it this way. Do I think he's a good football coach? Yeah, I do. I mean, some of the things he achieved at Vandy are pretty special. So, yeah, I think he's a pretty good football coach. I also think that maybe through not very good recruiting, I think he's been saddled with a quarterback that's just good enough to get you beat when it matters. Drew Aller, I continue to say is, you know.
I agree.
Of course, right now I'm kind of saying the same thing about Arch Manning.
And think about how hyped up this quarterback class was. You had Drew Allers of the world. You had Cade Klubnik. You have Garrett Nussmeier. Of course, Arch Manning. Lenore Sellers is probably the best one, but even he hasn't looked that good. Sam Levitt at Arizona State has had his fair share of struggles, but Arizona State's kind of picked up a little bit of steam. But think about it if you're Penn State, because the main praise about them was they win the games that they're supposed to win, but the downside is they lose the games that they're not favored to win. Well, here's the problem. They were favored against Oregon, and they lost. And they got them in the whiteout, and it still didn't work. Then you go out to UCLA, and you lose that game. So now you've lost 2 games that you've been favored to win in. And here's the bigger problem. They've been building this team up for 4 years. Drew Aller, senior. Katron Allen, senior. Nicholas Singleton, senior. All those guys on the defense loaded with seniors and juniors. And it's still not good enough.
What am I missing on Drew Aller?
Nothing. I think you're spot on. I think he is a good college quarterback. Do I think he's elite? No, I do not. I don't think he's a Heisman contender. I don't think if he hasn't at this point in his college career, something crazy may happen in the NFL. Let's say he goes to McVay or Shanahan, one of those guys gets his hands on him. Who knows what could happen? But as of right now, I don't see him taking that step to get to elite level status.
By the way, going back on Vandy for just a second, and I don't know quite who sets this up, whether it's simply dictating, but the strategy of an open date between Alabama and LSU, I think, is brilliant. I think this was absolutely the perfect time, recharge their batteries, get away from it for a few days, and then get back to, trying to beat LSU. Because if they were to beat LSU and they're 6-1, you know what? That feels pretty good.
No, I think the bye week comes at the perfect time. And, in the preseason, we all looked at Vanderbilt's schedule and we're like, okay, those first 5 games, it's reasonable that Vanderbilt could go 5-0. And then you look at the back half and you're like, oh my gosh. Well, you get LSU in your building. You have to go on the road to Texas, but just considering how Texas has looked, Vanderbilt could easily win both of those games. And here's the thing, George, and I want to know what you think about this. I don't feel much differently about Vanderbilt after the game against Alabama because they had a puncher's chance. I still believe they could contend for a playoff spot.
Look, they're way better than they have been. Their offensive line is way bigger than any Vandy offensive line that I have ever seen in my lifetime. That's one area, everybody says, well, it's Diego Pavia, and it certainly starts with him. But there are other things going on there. Offensive line is way better, which has made their running backs look way better. Their play calling, when I think back to Joey Lynch and the disaster that was and how predictable and boring they were, and I look now and you don't ever know what's coming. Yeah, Alabama was really ready for them. Alabama scouted them well. They did a really good job. Exactly what you would expect an Alabama football team to do. There is no shame in my mind in going down there with what they did. Did they play their best? No, but I think Alabama had a lot to do with it. How about that?
And Ty Simpson is playing like the best quarterback in the country right now.
Wow.
If his name was Ty Manning, what do you think we'd be canceled the Heisman Trophy ceremony? Let's already give it out and let's announce Ty Simpson as the first overall pick. That's the type of conversation.
If the season stopped today, he's invited to New York. One last thing. Miami. Man, they basically throttled Florida State. Now, the final score sounds close. Miami went into a prevent early in the fourth quarter that prevented absolutely nothing. At one point, it was 28-3 in Tallahassee, final 28-22. Miami's scary. They're pretty dangerous. They might be there at the end.
George, I believe Miami has the best player in the country, but he's not going to get the type of love that he deserves because of the position he plays on the defensive line, but that's Ruben Bain. Total game changer. When you consider him and Mesidor on the same defensive line, defense is a strength for Miami this year that wasn't the case last year. I don't think they have many holes.
Okay, as we go to the break, I want a bunch of phone calls. Reaction Monday, whether it is the Titans, whether it's college football, whatever. Let's get into it. Phone lines, there are 4 of them that are available at 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. Jump in now. Get in. If you get a busy signal, I'll let you know as soon as the line's open. But hit the phones. We are back in about 3 minutes. But first, most importantly, since I have to time this out, this is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
I'm told we get ready to go to the phones that I've got 2 lines that are still open. I want to hear from a red-blooded American who wants to talk some football, who's got some things on their mind that they want to get into. At 615-759-9949. Here's one other thing. I want to hear from somebody in Clarksville. Okay. We've now been on, this is our 3rd week up on ESPN Clarksville, 540 on the AM dial, 104.1 on the FM dial. We are working to try to figure out to do a show up there in the near future. But first, I am dying to get a phone call from Clarksville. It would absolutely make my day.
I wouldn't mind a call from Clarksville.
Make my day.
I don't talk to the people up in Clarksville too often, you know?
Okay. Still got one line open. Somebody jump in. 615-759-9949. Clay on line 1. Welcome. Hello, Clay. Okay, Clay, if you're there, yeah, I'm hearing somebody. Clay, if you're there, go ahead.
George?
Yes.
You there, George?
Yes, Clay, go ahead.
Okay. I said Kelly's not present today. Is that correct?
Right. His father passed away on Thursday night, and I believe I'm right that there will be a funeral service on Wednesday. Kelly may be with us tomorrow, but not here today.
Well, you know, I give him a hard time, and it's all in good fun, like I said the other day. But I really do have the utmost respect for him as a football player because he played at the highest level.
Sure.
And my thoughts and prayers are with him. So I just wanted to say that. Anyway, I've got a little bit of everything today, George. I've got some happiness and some disappointment. And so let's start with the happiness. I just wanted to kind of say something about Cam Ward. Were the Titans maybe given the game? Okay, they were. And when a team is a mess like they have been, maybe that's the way you finally get a win. And, you know, that kind of totally changes the mood with practice and all that. But here's a kid, in my opinion, that is learning, that has got ability, that has stayed pretty positive, I think, in front of the media and his teammates. And he made a beautiful throw to Ridley on that long pass, and he led his team down, and they got the win. So I just wanted to shout out to him. As far as Vanderbilt's concerned, George, you know, am I happy to be 5-1 and ranked number 20 in the country? Absolutely. Clark Lee was about to maybe lose his job 2 years ago, and look where we are now. I just felt the disappointment is I think we had a cornerback out, and maybe that had a little bit to do with some of the problems in the passing game. But Alabama scored pretty quickly, and I thought that kind of changed the momentum. And it hurts to say this, but we got whipped at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball in the second half and just couldn't get a lot going offensively. But I thought my disappointment is I thought Tim Beck's play calling was a little bit conservative. I thought he went away from some things that have worked, but maybe Alabama just whipped us that bad at the line of scrimmage. But overall, you know, I'm still a pretty happy Vanderbilt fan, and I'd still run through a brick wall for Clark Lee.
I don't think he needs you to do that, but I'm sure he appreciates the support. You're right about one thing. The throw, which was a rope, an absolute frozen rope, Cam Ward to Ridley in that final minute, man, that was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, and he's in a tough position, George. He's on a terrible football team. he's a young professional player that has ability. He's learning. I think he will get there as his team gets better. And, but at the end of the day, he led his team down and they got the win. So I just wanted to mention that because I'm becoming a fan because I think the kid can be good if he has better coaching and better players around him.
I think he's the least of their problems. Clay, thank you for the call.
Thanks.
Okay, that's going to leave a line open. I want somebody to jump in and grab it at 615-759-9949. Tony in Nolensville, you're up next.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and Kelly, if by chance you're listening, prayers to you and your family, buddy. I think we all feel that same sentiment everywhere. So just prayers for that tough time. George, the other day at 1:52 p.m. Saturday, I made a wise decision. I was watching the Brewers and Cubs, and after the Cubs took 1-0 lead, Brewers come to bat, and 26 and a half minutes later, they were up 6-1 at the bottom of the first, and I made the executive decision from my chair, no more Cubs and Brewers. It was going to be all Vandy and Bama.
Thanks for the reminder, Tony.
No, I know what that executive decision's all about. Sometimes you just have to do it, and you were right, and hopefully you won't have to do it again.
Let's hope not. Parker, I was thinking of you too, buddy. Me and you, and I know Billy's a Cubs man too. I thought, man, I hope none of us are watching this thing now.
Yeah, how they do tonight will determine if I'm here tomorrow. So we'll see.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
No.
That's a joke. That is a joke.
Speaking of the Vandy game, everything's been covered on it pretty much. George, I sent you a couple pictures. I still will not believe that was a fumble. I will always think he was down. If he had been called down, I think he would have been ruled down. I don't think it would have been overturned. So, but all in all, they flipped the script on Vanderbilt for what Vanderbilt did to them last year, maintaining possession, running the clock, and doing those things. And George, here's something that what hadn't been said much. Had Vandy going when they scored their 14 points right before the half, had they took a little bit more time and run that clock down and made Bama use, I think they used all their timeouts, and maybe scored on third down, I think it would have run the clock inside a minute, and they might not have had the time to get back down the field. And then, like you say, it looked like they were playing prevent. They were out of timeouts. They got to work the sidelines, and we give them the sidelines to work.
Yeah.
It was just very disgusting and very bad defensive situation with that last bit of the minute like that.
That was the most disappointing thing for me.
Right. And looking at the schedule, I think everybody would have said, if we'd all said we were 5-0 going to Bama game, we'd all been shocked. I really believe that, and I think we were all happy. Do we take a split between LSU and Bama? I think we'll all be happy. So it's going to be amazing to see how they use this bye week and how they turn this stuff around. And last, two more things is give you a little update. I hope you get a call from Clarksville, but if you don't, Austin P. Governors knocked off 5-0 West Georgia the other day.
They sure did.
And beat them. And actually, they were down by 16 at one point and come back and won the game. So good win there for the Governors. Should move them up the ranks. And lastly, I don't know if y'all saw this, probably not, but yesterday in NASCAR, I saw something I've never seen ever in my years of watching NASCAR. On the last lap, two cars come across the finish line going backwards in reverse. I've never seen that before. It looked pretty crazy to see two cars at the same time crossing. They had hit each other, spun around, and threw it in reverse and crossed the finish line. I thought, damn, you'll never see that again.
Yeah, it wasn't a DUI deal.
Let's go. Let's get more callers and keep talking this football stuff. Talk to you.
Tony, thank you. No DUI there.
No DUI. I had no idea what he was talking about. I didn't see that.
Let me look at the phone call sheet real quickly. Okay, I got two lines open. some people jump in there, red-blooded Americans who want to participate in Reaction Monday for whatever it is in the world of sports you want to react to. 615-759-9949. I'm looking for a call from Clarksville. Make my day. Eric, line 3. You don't live in Clarksville, do you?
No, I don't. Can you hear me, George?
I can hear you loud and clear.
I tell you what, George, I called several times. My call dropped 3 different times, and I says, "Oh no, you were having phone issues." But look, now I'm there now.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah. Hey, George, first of all, my condolences to Kelly and his family and the loss of his dad. I hate hearing that, and thoughts and prayers go out to him.
I know he'd appreciate that, Eric. Thank you.
Yeah, George, a couple of things. I'm going to get to college football last, but pro football, as far as the Titans go, George, look, here's the thing on that, George. You have to take a win any way you can get it. I've heard a lot of people say, well, they were lucky, and they still say, and we still have issues, George. You'll get no argument from me like that, and there's a lot of people still not happy, even though we won, and they say, all this stuff doesn't happen, blah, 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 we don't win. Well, sometimes it's the balance of the football. And, George, I look at it this way, because I called another show and said this. Suppose it was like Tony Pollard running 17 yards, and he drops the ball for the cross goal line. Supposedly Jerry Sneed gets an interception after Kyler Murray. He fumbles the ball, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. because of the end zone, and he gets the touchdown. Then suppose the Cardinals kick a last-second field goal, and they win. What do you think it's like Monday? Don't you know it's far worse? And everybody's calling for Callahan's head. Everybody wants the Jerry Sneed for fumbling the ball. Everybody's going to be upset with Tony Pollard. George, I will take a win any way I can get it. I'm happy. Sure, there were warts to this win, but you got to take what you can get. And here's what even far worse for the Cardinals, George. With that loss, George, you realize they are the first team in NFL history to lose 3 straight games on the final play of the game. They lost that way to San Francisco, lost that way last Thursday night to Seattle, and now to the Titans. That had never happened in NFL history. And imagine if that had happened to the Titans. So that's just something to think about. You got to take what you can get.
Eric, hold on a second. The thing on Arizona is 3 weeks ago, there were warning signs of this kind of a crater. They did this against Carolina, and they got bailed out. Carolina was down, I want to say, I don't know, it may have been 28-3, speaking of that number. But they got a last-second interception that stopped that one from happening. I don't know what's going on in Arizona, but Jonathan Gannon better figure it out soon.
And, George, I'll tell you what, I've heard their next several games, they could be in serious trouble. They go to Indy next week and play the Colts. After that, they play the Green Bay Packers. After that, I think somebody said they either play the Texans or the Cowboys or something like that. I know they've got a game coming up in 2 weeks against Cowboys on Monday Night Football. There's a possibility they may not win for a while. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but some of the games they've got upcoming, if you look at their upcoming schedule, they could be in trouble. Real quickly, George, college football thing, a couple of things. As far as Vandy, I agree the bye comes at a perfect time. And, George, you were talking about Vanderbilt the last time they won Alabama. It was 30-21 in Alabama. And remember, that was Alabama's homecoming, too. Because I was working with some Vanderbilt students at a car wash when that game happened. And I remember the game next week because I was at the game when they lost to Tulane. They were ranked 17th in the country, 4-0, and they lost that game because I had won free tickets. And after that, I think Vanderbilt the rest of the way won one game. They were 5-6. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Didn't George McIntyre resign at the end of that season?
No, it was a year later that it happened. For those of you, Eric, who are watching this by way of podcast, the last time Vandy won in Tuscaloosa, Parker, I don't know if you can see this picture. I
can. Okay. Yeah.
That is 24-year-old me with CM Newton on the field.
Okay.
That's a picture I have kept.
What year was that?
1984. I was Vandy's sideline announcer. I was 24 years old at the time. I'll tell you one area where I had no clue what I was doing. it was important to get the coaches post game on, because back then you didn't have all this TV. People wanted to hear what the coach had to say. Well, if it had been left to me and the way I put the wires together, 40 years later, you'd have never heard that post game show. Go ahead, Eric.
George, one last thing, and this is on the Penn State deal. I think another thing that hurts James Franklin that nobody talks about is his early non-conference schedule. I think he needs to open up with a tough team from another conference. The fact that he plays these cupcakes, I don't think helps him. And here's the thing. I mean, I don't care. You cannot lose a game like that. And I heard him after the game saying, well, let's talk about West Coast. I mean, give me a break. You know you're playing that schedule now since those teams have come to the Big Ten from the West Coast. They just talk about, well, we're going to not listen to the outside noise. We're going to rally around. Penn State basically has to run the table if they've got any shot at the playoffs, which I don't think they're going to do. They still have to play, of course, Ohio State and Indiana, which are both ranked. And even if they don't lose to them, if they lose one more game, they're basically done. I mean, it's just inexcusable. I don't know. Some would say they were flat, stuff like that. You can't be like that. You've got to be prepared, ready to play. And I'm sure the Penn State people did not want this. I mean, supposedly you had one of the most talented teams in the country, all the talent. It was set up for you beautifully, and now this happens. And it's kind of like what happened to Ryan Day last year. Everybody's talking about, well, of course, after they lost to Michigan, if they didn't win the national championship, he was gone, or it was 50-50. I don't know if that would have happened or not, but he did win the national championship, which that took some heat off of him. But I do agree. It would not surprise me if he resigns, or even if he doesn't. I think next year would be his final year, because I think you're right, George. Happy Valley is not happy anymore. Guys will get off. Y'all take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Eric. So this picture that you can hopefully see, I'm not doing a very good job with it.
24-year-old George Plaster.
This was when Bryant Denny was a 60,000-seat dump. To be honest, not a very nice-looking stadium at the time. And now you go down there, and it's a 100,000-seat palace. They have poured a ton of money into it, and rightfully so. They've been the king of college football under Nick Saban. But in '84, Bear Bryant had passed away. I want to say, I think at the start of '82, Ray Perkins at that point was the coach, and they didn't like Ray Perkins, who had the ability to piss off anybody that he ran into. Then 3 years later, he's out the door for Tampa Bay. They hire Bill Curry as their football coach. And one of the teams that beat Curry in his opening year was my Memphis State team.
How about that?
Yeah. Alabama football's come a long way since that.
Just thinking of their stadium, too, and the light show and all that they have going on. Bryant Denny's a destination, one of the best venues in all of college football.
Well, one of the things that went on as we were driving out of there. Now, I'm getting the comment from Brent who says still a dump. I don't know. I mean, what I've seen looks beautiful. Maybe it isn't. It's been a while since I've been in there.
Well, it's coming from a Tennessee fan, so.
Well, now you don't know that.
Well, he has a Tennessee thing in his logo.
Well, now you do know that.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we're going to go to the break, and at the moment, our lines are wide open. So you jump in, red-blooded American who wants to talk some football, and I'm dying to hear from somebody from Clarksville. Where are you, Clarksville? I want to hear from you. 615-759-9949. Again, 615-759-9949. Your phone calls, hopefully, are next on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, Save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Sports and Social at Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a race and sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Okay, we are back. It is a red letter day where we go to Clarksville, Tennessee for this caller. Caller, I don't have your name. Tell me who you are.
Hello?
Yeah, tell me who this is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You didn't. This is Don, Dolphin Don. I'm a big Dolphin fan up here in Clarksville. We've talked before. I've talked to you 20 years ago and 25 years ago. What is it going to take for Ross to actually just grow something and get rid of that coach? We're at the lowest, at the lowest, blowing a 17-0 lead. And watch a team run over 250 yards in 35 minutes. Run all over us. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
So let me ask you this. Don't you think by about the midway mark of the season, now you're going to tell me, well, it's too late for this year. Well, the fact of it is it's probably already too late. I saw enough of it yesterday on the NFL Red Zone. From the second quarter on, Carolina pushed them around all over the place.
It's embarrassing. It is actually embarrassing. I'm a season ticket holder. I paid money to see that crap for them to put on the field. And it's just, I just don't understand my wits ends. We haven't had a quarterback since Marino. We definitely ain't had a coach since Shula. I don't know what we have to do. I mean, they keep on saying next year. But golly, it's been next year for 30 years now. I don't know what to expect.
Well, now, hold on. Let me ask you this, though. If healthy, you don't think Tua is good enough?
I don't know. I mean, literally, those last three plays are just absolutely ludicrous. They didn't even try. They could have. They've been dinking and dunking all game, and they didn't even try to dink and dunk. I mean, didn't get sacked on the third down play. Our number 2 draft pick just sit there on one play yesterday, just watch the guy and waved as he went by. Didn't even put a pad on him. And to watch Tua get killed. And then he's nice enough to go help Tua up. Well, that's awful nice. You're the reason why he just got his butt planted. You know? I mean, I'm sorry. You know? And if it wasn't for Waddle, I mean, literally, we wouldn't even have it. And then I'm just at my wit's end. You know, I feel for you being a Vandy fan for a long time. Again, they are turning it around. I didn't think they're going to beat Alabama in Alabama, but they are turning it around. But I just don't know. I don't think McDaniel's the answer. I really don't. And Greer definitely needs to go because he built that team. I mean, that is all his. I mean, we signed player last week that's recuperating from knee surgery. All right, off somebody else's practice squad. He did play for us, but you know,
yeah,
I'm just saying. I don't.
Oh, I feel your frustration. There's some talent down there, but something's not right.
That's what upsets me. You can't tell me we don't have better players in that team. I mean, it just, I just,
I don't disagree with you. Hey, get some other people from Clarksville listening. Tell 10,000 of your closest friends that we're alive and kicking up there.
Yeah, all right, I will.
Thanks.
All right, it's nice talking to you, George.
Okay, we got our call from Clarksville.
Do you think he has 10,000 friends in Clarksville to tell?
I don't know.
I'm sure he does. He seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Just very down to the dumps about his team.
Understandably
so.
He's very down. I get it. Okay, Mark in Nashville is up next. Mark, how you doing?
Wonderful. Okay, Clarksville's great. You got the state of Texas calling you, and I run through a couple things.
Wait a minute. Tell me. Hold on a second. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Nashville, but I'm representing the state of Texas for you.
I got you. Let's hear it.
Okay. Vanderbilt, I'm a Texas Aggie. Way back, we used to, when my parents lived in Brentwood, we pulled for Vanderbilt in Tennessee. Okay. Vanderbilt, there's no way they were going to win that game. That was a revenge game. Okay. They're doing great. Okay. The Titans, you got to give that guy being a quarterback in the NFL is the hardest job in sports. Okay. You got to give that guy a break. He did great coming back and winning that game. Okay.
You're talking about Cam Ward.
Yeah. I understand the frustration with football. Okay. But, it's going to take the Titans a little bit of time to catch up. Okay. That's all there is to it. Okay. It's the hardest job in football is being an NFL quarterback. Hardest job in sports, rather. Okay. The other thing is, I'm amazed at my Texas Aggies. Okay. And we'll see how it plays out against Texas and LSU. And we'll see how Vanderbilt does against LSU. But, there's the SEC is changing a little bit. Okay. And it has to do with the coaches. Okay. The coaches make the teams in college football. But anyway, that's all I got for you.
Mark, hold on a second. Let me ask you something. Because you sound like Cam Ward's catching a lot of criticism, and I don't think he is.
Well, maybe he's not, but, you got to give the kid a chance. Okay. And it takes time. Okay. And there's 10 other players on the offense that make a difference. Okay. So, the Titans are 2 or 3 years away. Okay. So you got to be patient. I know it's hard when you're paying, whatever, $20,000 for PSLs and seats, but it's just going to take time.
Yeah. That's a whole nother issue. The fact that they have the nerve with this product to try to charge what they're charging. And I've been very vocal about how horse manure I think that is. Their best bet right now for getting this thing to start to turn around, even with the victory yesterday, let's be honest, they're going to get one of the top 3 or 4 draft picks in this coming year's NFL draft. And there are teams that need a quarterback. They have got to have the sense to package to one of those teams and get 3 or 4 pieces and get this thing jump started. Because this roster right now feels like the worst roster in the league. Now, you can argue New Orleans, although they won yesterday. You could argue Miami. But the fact of it is the Titans are at or near the bottom of the NFL. They're going to have to package next year's draft pick to a team that needs a quarterback and needs it desperately.
Yeah. You need a Jimmy Johnson trade.
Yeah, those don't happen very often. Jerry Jones would like to have one now. Anyway, Mark, thank you for the call.
Well, one more thing is you got the curse of Bud Adams.
I don't think it's his fault.
Well, I don't know. He got pissed off at Houston after being there for whatever 30 years, and that's the way it is.
He did okay moving up here, though.
Yeah, well, Houston never had a Super Bowl. Y'all, the Titans got a Super Bowl, right?
Right off the bat, and probably thought, "Oh, this is going to happen all the time." It's not that easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
I'll see you Thursday night.
Okay, look forward to it. Okay, Parker, what do we know at this point?
About?
Well,
I know. I think I know a little bit about something, but
do you think Cam Ward's under any real pressure other than what he puts on himself?
No. I just saw a tweet from Dan Orlovsky that said the film from Cam Ward is phenomenal and that he has the potential to be a top 8 quarterback in the NFL. And I happen to agree because I've seen him at practice. I've watched all of his games. I've seen him at Miami, Washington State, Incarnate Word. I believe it. I just don't believe that we're going to truly see that unless there are more pieces around him that are better. And there are a lot of pieces that are not there.
Oh, there are a bunch of pieces that aren't there. Now, one that is from time to time is Ridley. And I said it earlier and I'll say it again. 5 catches, 140 yards. You got to do that more consistently. They're paying you that kind of top dollar. They're paying him number 1 wide receiver money. He's not a number 1. Occasionally he'll show flashes of that, but they have got to get more of that out of Ridley game after game after game. Not once every 5 games, but on a more consistent basis. Yes?
If you're paying $90+ million for a receiver, I'd sure hope so. But I also wouldn't mind to see the Bills strategy, which is receiver by committee.
Yeah, but what is that? I mean, you don't have a Shakir here. You've got a Tyler Lockett that appears to be on the down end of his career. You've got Io Manor, who appears to have some real promise, and DK, who I'm not sold on. Now, the guy that they're not using enough, and this is Callahan's fault, is Chig Okonkwo. They need to get him more in their offense. Get him down the field.
What about Gunnar Helm?
Missing in action thus far.
I think Alec Aomanor, can be that. They're not the same player, Shakir and Aomanor, but he could be a very reliable target. Now they have to iron out some of the chemistry issues, but I also think Gunnar Helm. it has to mean something that he was drafted around the same time as Cam Ward, and they have the opportunity to grow together. He served as a safety blanket for Quinn Ewers at Texas. I think he can serve as the exact same here. I don't even know if Chig's going to be on the roster next year.
Well, let me ask you this. You think they're using him properly? I don't.
When you have a player with that skill set, I don't think the coaching staff utilizes what they do have, and it's very limited. I don't think they utilize what they have well at all.
Okay, let me ask this question. I guess this is what I don't understand, and maybe I don't know enough football. I watch Buffalo use their tight ends like crazy. Kincaid and Dalton Knox, and now there's a third one. Ours might as well live in Mammoth Cave. You don't ever see them.
And there's a lot that plays into that as well. I think
okay, like what?
Like Chig, I don't think he's a great blocker. So that he's very one-dimensional in that aspect. But if you get him out in the screen game, you get him a quick pass, get him out in space, that's when I think he's dangerous. So scheming more opportunities like that could help. But also NFL defenses, I mean, this goes without saying, they're smart. Defensive coordinators are smart, and they pick up on that. I think Gunnar Helm's the best all around.
Are we ready to close up shop?
Sure. Stat of the day or bet of the day?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, George.
Let's see where we are.
All right. Our bet of the day brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law, taking a look at the results over the weekend.
Yeah.
53, 56, and 2.
Yeah.
San Diego State hit, Maryland hit, Carolina +1 hit.
3-3 weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. So tonight's an interesting one. Jacksonville is considerably better than they have been. Oh, by the way, as of a week ago, so is Kansas City. One's the defending AFC champion and perennial Super Bowl contender. The other is not. I'm taking KC on the road minus the 3.5 in Jacksonville. Baseball starts in about 15 minutes. My fear is that Blake Snell is going to pitch really good for the Dodgers. They're going to go up 2-0. And if that happens, you can write the Phillies off because then they got to go on the road for the next 2 at Dodger Stadium. Not a good recipe. This is must-win tonight for Philly.
I agree. Going down 2-0 to the Dodgers seems like a death sentence.
Cubs need a win in Milwaukee, not as vital because they're not at home.
Still want to win. Still want to win, George. That's all I ask for.
We're done. Tomorrow on the show, got great stuff. Tony Basilio joining us from Knoxville. David Cutcliffe, if you have not heard him before, he is must-listen-to radio. So a lot to yap about. Thanks for being with us on Reaction Monday. We will see you again tomorrow, right here on the George Plaster Show.
Now, here's your latest Fox 17 Code Red weather report.
I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Brett Luna. Better rain chances finally start to move in today. Off and on showers will stick around throughout the day. By Tuesday, we're looking at an even better chance for showers and thunderstorms. Highs will be in the lower 80s today and Tuesday, and then we're in the mid and upper 70s through the rest of the week.
Your sports live here on the Game Nashville Sports Network.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. While we all enjoy the beautiful fall weather, we also know this is the time for home improvement projects before the cold winds of winter blow in. If replacing those old drafty windows is on your list, I suggest you reach out to the best in the business, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You can't beat the combination of the highest quality doors and windows in the business with expert craftsmanship from the Pella Windows installation team. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Visit PellaNashville.com for more information.
This is the energy of the Acura Integra. The energy of speed. With available Type S 320 horsepower VTEC turbo engine. And the energy of control. With available 6-speed manual transmission. The Acura Integra. This is the energy of innovation. Acura. precision-crafted performance.
Experience the thrill at Gary Force Acura, proud sponsor of the Nashville Predators. GaryForceAcura.com.
Hey everybody, Joe Rexroth here for Sealmaster. You know, football teams, they got to prepare for cold weather, right? Well, you do too. Your driveway, your parking lot, you got to withstand the harsh winter conditions by using Sealmaster products. Your pavement is your welcome mat. First impression is very important. It's important to seal and protect now or face a huge paving bill later. Protect your investment, beautify your property, and this is also pickleball, basketball, other recreational uses. Call Sealmaster today for a qualified contractor, 615-255-55.